nice. We're hearing the short skip. This is going to be interesting tonight. It's going to be interesting.
You may not find us on your TV because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
Indeed, the Old Tube Radio Network. Strange skip conditions tonight. We've got the short skip, the long skip, any skip. Let me switch my headphones here so that they are in the right mode. But welcome to the Old Tube Radio Network. Real radios glow in the dark. I know, Charlie. We all just got here. All just got here in the air chair in the studio, so things are a little more disheveled than usual. But we are here to do what we do best, and that is listen for, talk about, and check in the tube radios, and that will be coming up shortly. Before that, the direct net roll call will be happening, and we will be able to get that. We'll take some early check-ins and get to your questions, your radios. It will be a good thing on your Old Tube Radio Network. My name is Dennis, one of the many net controllers throughout the many years of Old Tube Radio, and I will be happy to listen for any and all. Let's try early check-ins right now. All right, I've got 24. Let me clear the rigs. Let me clear the Nixies. Let me get to the list. And Joseph, we got you checked in. Thanks for joining us. Over. And did I hear 53? Over.
Yeah, good evening there, Dennis. Yeah, I'd like to check in early, my brother. Yeah, 53 of the Legend on the east side of Fresno.
All right, the east side of Fresno, the Legend on all parts of Fresno checked in. You are sounding good.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one. Bye-bye-bye. Dennis, 650.
All right, we'll get 650. Did I hear any early check-ins? Maybe 79. All right, 650 is in.
Thank you, Dennis.
All right, thanks, Hans. As the radio is working, we hope the radio is working. I'll make it the right selection here. That will add the good stuff. We'll know who's checking in, who's not, who's been, what do they say? What do the songs say? Who's been naughty and who's been nice? The Old Tube Radio Network. Let's get to 00, SWL 51.
00, checking in if you could get through all that mess.
Yeah, the one and only skip that's going in there did not wipe you out. You sound good. I've got you checked in. We'll get you in as 51 as well. Over.
Check, Dennis. Have a good evening.
All right, 51 must have the extra watt. He must have that 6-watt DC input radio going, and it sounds mighty good. The Echo Link is up and running, so we'll try and get that as well. Some other things I hope are working. I don't know. I have actually been out of town for most of the week, so when I got back here, it was a kind of a scramble to make sure that everything was where it should be and working. So we'll find out as we go. I got to check in for SWL number 1, of course. SWL number 2, OBP, is out there and listening on the video chat side. So say hello, radio, to Kevin, and tell him and let him know that he is indeed 9 pounds with good modulation at Chestnut and Herndon. Also checking in from Greensboro, North Carolina, checking in from the bus stop, CB radio key down. Sounds like there was some CB radio key downs certainly going on around here, and I need a pen. Is this going to work? Yes. So thanks for joining us from Greensboro, North Carolina, checking in. And that is, we got to get a honk of the mud duck. And, of course, always let people know where they can go if they want to experience Extreme CB, extremecb.com, 27025, and all sorts of other great places. Looking for SWL3. SWL4. SWL5, Levon, did you make the switch? Yes, he did. From Old Radio Night, which I think is going on. Let me go over to the video and see if they are still cranking out to bring up some audio. Oh, yeah. They're still up and running. So we'll be back with Old Radio Night. The video is still not working. That's the problem on my end. But we will see how they are doing a little bit later on. Thank you, Levon, for checking in. SWL, let me skip over to SWL 7.
Oh, good evening to one and all. This is SWL number 7, checking in.
Checking in and sounding good doing it. Let's see, where are we at? At 9. You know, this list somehow got totally distorted. I'm missing my 831 box. So that is actually the 831. You are sounding good. Thanks for keeping the Midtown Fresno alive here. Just trying to update my analog list as I go along. Charlie is saying to check all the lights. I think they are. In fact, we've got more lights than I need. You want to turn me this one off? That one right there? What does that do? That lights up the board. What if we turn the? What if we do that? Okay, not so bad. Like a story coming through them. SWL 10 and 30. Where are the Dolphins? They're soon to be here. So I'll put a proxy check-in or something like that for Chrissy. How about 11 and 12? That's Dan, Dapper Dan, Cornbread, and Dapper Dan, possibly listening into the Old Tube Radio Network. And one tube, you are looking good. I think you got that extra filament going, so now you are no longer the half tube, like it was over on Old Radio Night. We were definitely seeing a one tube.
It needs more power.
Yeah, it needs more power. Uncle Freddie Chicken Choker joining us in the Old Tube Radio Network, Foxman 362. Thanks for listening in. SWL 13. Hello, Mikey, if you're around. I'm monitoring and listening at oldtuberadio.net for the check-in, so if you're over there, I will get you. Let's go to, and this is going to be rough. It's going to be rough. How about Sangertown, SWL 14?
Yeah, how you doing, Dennis? SWL 14, checking on in.
All right, made it through. No problem. Sounding good, and we've got some spaces ready for you in the radio list if you are around.
I'm having a hard time picking you out there, but I caught it sounding good, so looking forward to this evening.
Likewise, and we have some space for you on the radio list. Over. All right, we will say good morning to Hans, who was having his morning cup of coffee over on the Old Radio Night, and is probably right here saying hello radio for the Old Tube Radio Network. So, Hans, we will put the X and the square, and we've got you checked in, and I don't know how you do it. You've got 2 or 3 things going on at once, and you're doing them all well. Tracy, Tracy, while you're there, just in case you have to go, SWL 98, I will get you checked in right now. Over.
You can rewind the live stream. You always get the live stream. I'll try to keep it on. You always keep the live stream on.
Fantastic. I'll get back in evolution. Sensational stuff.
I have to update my list here. Other check-ins, I forgot to mention SWL 69, Kenny in Tulsa, Oklahoma, was stopping by a little bit earlier. SWL 68, Michael out there in New York, was saying hello radio. Got him checked in, and we will do our best to make sure everybody gets a hello radio that needs it. Back to the list at hand. If you're playing along, we are on page 1. The home game. There's little dice and spinners and cars and tokens you can move around the board. It's a lot of fun. SWL 16. Hello, Charlie. And I know we all just ran in here. He was apologizing for not being ready. No, you're doing good. And what is that you have? Something from management? Hold on. He's handing me something here. What is that? Something from management. That is management. Well, I don't know. Are they keeping an eye on us? They sent one of the management clowns. What am I supposed to do with this? All right, we'll go back over here. That's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of scary. It's kind of scary. Is that they're wanting to know how we do the show? Is there a little camera in that or something? I'm just checking to see if it has teeth. All right, we've got that. So I will be on my best behavior. And thank you, Charlie. You are checked in. You know, I can see that in my monitor. It's let me do that. I don't like that. Yeah, somebody said it looks like a Jack in the Box. I don't know. What does Bozo Control have to say about that? Let's go to SWL 18. Mikey is checked in from the Facebook page. SWL 19. Thank you, Chet. And Chet is saying, that is an unscripted. I know. There was nothing on the cue cards about that. He's conferring with Charles, wanting to know what is going on, because obviously I didn't have that on my script, and you did not have that in your script. So we'll just go with it. We'll see what we can do. Let's go. And I think Harvey said he needed to get checked in tonight via proxy. He might be one of our listeners, so we'll find out who's tuning in. So Harvey, if you're listening from afar, you've got the X and the square over.
I'm not that far away. I'm getting old. It's not this week I'm working on Saturday. It's next week. So proxy me in next week. But I am working tomorrow morning, so I'll probably just check in a couple of my normal radios, and that'll be about it. But check me in 29 and 54, and we'll talk with you later.
Okay, we will do that. Let you talk later. And they're saying there's a new video box. What does that mean? Click on control, all right? Oh, yeah. If you're watching the video, it doesn't show, or does it? It does. Okay, let me stay with that one for a while. You know why I like it? Because there's a lot less of me. That is already a good thing. All right, Harvey. Well, it is a treat to have you here during roll call. Thanks.
All righty. I think I'll go get a treat. We'll see you later.
All right, just like the cat. Someone's rattling the little bag, and you can go get a treat now. 20 is in. I got to update the picture here. Let's go over, and I know he's around. JTSWL21. I was there earlier. Got him checked in, but I wanted to go. We'll bring up the audio because for some reason, even though we have all this trickery going on, we cannot get video for some reason out of Old Radio Night. So, what is the radio tonight? Does it say? He's got the robot microphone. 131, and it is Old Radio. It's a Cobra 29 LTD Classic Palomar 350Z reverse preamp. Is what's going on tonight on Old Radio Night. You can hear the audio.
SWL21 checking in. Maybe I'm on time. Go ahead, Jed.
Everybody, Jed, 183 South Carolina checking in.
All right, he is on time, 183.21, and the host of others. That's over at Old Radio Night, going on right now on the YouTube at 21s.c. Old Radio Night to check it out and do what Hans does. I think he has one.
All right, SWL21 checking in.
He has one picture for each eye. Yeah, that's the confirmation. All right, I'm going to get out of this. Otherwise, we will be in the wacky infinite feedback loop that sometimes happens between Old Radio Night and the Old Tube Radio Network. Your best citizen band places to be for new school, old school, skipland, and just rag-chew chatting on your two-way radio. Good stuff. Yeah, Aaron saying use all the OBS features. There's still one. I can't get the overlay to show up anymore. It worked for 15 years, and all of a sudden it's gone. So I will try to do some updates and see if I can't bring it back, or maybe blow up the whole thing. That would be too good. SWL22. Yes, Tyler, and we could hear Tyler tonight. We've got some interesting additions. SWL23. Get a proxy check-in for 23 Skidoo. He was in last week. Looking good. Even brought Espresso Trucking Company along with him. SWL 24, Joseph checked in earlier. SWL 25. Got a proxy in for Mr. Sidekick. Turning the page, let's see if Studio G is operational tonight. SWL 27. You know, I was hoping yes and hoping no, because it's still 90-something degrees around here, so I know Studio G would be pretty wacky. Let me give 27 a proxy check-in tonight. All the way up to Sacramento. When I know it's not 95, you guys should have at least gotten some type of breeze up there to make the dining and dancing pleasure good on a Saturday evening. What's up with Gary? Having ice-cold Orange Crush in the bottle. Oh, that sounds good. I don't remember, does Orange Crush, does that turn your tongue orange or not? It could. I bet the old stuff did. The old stuff that had red dye number 2. The new stuff, probably not. 75 light Delta breeze. I'm jealous already. That was some labor painting the green room this week. Yeah, well, it was green. At least you painted it the right color. Time to relax with OTR. I like the little two-tone. The green room is now, it starts green, and then there's sort of this third of the way down stripe thing, and then it gets green, but it is still the green room. You can smell the smell of fresh paint. But if you stand close to the punch bowl, you might smell the aroma of, what was it that's going on there? Orange Crush. Yeah, looking good. Thank you, Gary. SWL 29. Boy, I'm way behind on my click list here. We got a proxy check-in for Mr. Loner. Gonna update some of these other ones that I had. See, I'm trying to be good because we have management watching us from behind my right shoulder here tonight. So I'm making sure, in case this is being taped or something, that I appear as though I know what I'm doing. Let's go to SWL 30. Dwayne and Chrissy still waiting. Oh, I see. You know what? I see Neil. Let me go up to 147. While he is here, because I know it's late out there, 2 or 3 hours different. I'll put the X in the square up there in Kakalaki, and I will also see what is going on. The updates, interesting conditions come in and out. That's what we were having here. I really think we're going to have something interesting tonight. Lights of California in my ear. Do you guys get 299 in Columbia? He's loud up here. I don't know. I have to talk to 188 and 153 on the horizontal side, and some of the decent skip shooters on the frequency, and see if 299 blasts into the Central Valley here. Dr. Jazz in North Carolina, thanks for joining us tonight in the last blast of summer, cooling off to 80 next week. I was far away where they were having somewhere in Kansas their high temperatures, hottest temperatures of the summer, just for me. Just to make me feel at home from coming from Fresno. So let me go to SWL 13 because I do see Mr. Cobra on my screen giving me a big 10-4 and listening to the alligator station. So thanks, Mike, for checking. And I finally hit the refresh button. Gotcha. No more proxy check-ins. Directed net roll calls where we are at. We will be checking in your radios coming up, so don't go away. SWL 31. That's Robert and Teresa. There they are. And please check us in. Check you guys in. SWL 31 out there in Hendersonville, and X in the square. Probably some possible conditions if you are not getting the intermittent little rain shower thunderstorm. Early check-in for JZ SWL 83. Let me go and make that sure that 31 got logged in, and then I jump over. It's page 4. If you're doing it at home, SWL 83 JZ's got important stuff to do, as we all do. Checking in, sounding good. And sounds like Australia's gone away, but there is some stations way down in the noise. We were hearing the Mojave Desert. So where it is? Where's Palm Springs? Listen in, Palm Springs. Might be, the strong stations here in the Central Valley might be floating your way. SWL 32. SWL 33, myself, Bozo Control. Bozo Control, hold out your gloved four-fingered hand. Clown that you are. Yeah, I can see there's green paint. Yeah, he's fessing up. He went in and touched, sorry Gary, Bozo Control went in and touched the wet paint. SWL 34, did a check-in for Jimmy. He was out busy attending to all the Facebook pages. I think he's got 3 dozen that he does. Hello, Barry. Hello, Rich. Albert and the gang. I am, you know what, why I'm here right now, or as John would say, right here, right now, I'm going to pull up the Western America map and see if Squamish came back. It doesn't look like it. I don't know why they are not up. The closest we've got is South Forge Mountain, a solar power. I don't think that's going to work. And we've got one in Salt Spring Island. I don't think that's going to work. I think that's going to be too far away. I'll keep a lookout. But for some reason, our really good connect up there in Squamish is not up and running again. Joining us, we all got wet here in the studio as the Dolphins, and there are many from which to choose, jumped up and wanted to get an anchovy before they jumped back down. SWL 10 and 30, Christy and Dwayne listening in. I don't know, could have some wacky, wild stuff tonight, so have Dwayne fire up his best DX radio. 34 is in. Let's go to SWL 35. Checking to see if Mr. Bill, Red Monkey Communications, has popped by. Don't see anything. Who is listening? Let me go to the up in front here, Fresno, California. Of course, Derby, New York with the cue cards. Another Fresno, the unknown Modesto, California, coming in again tonight. Thank you. Plymouth, Minnesota, Edmonton, Alberta. Maple Valley, Washington. That wasn't a monkey song, was it? No, it's Pleasant Valley. It wasn't Maple Valley. Never mind, I said that. Seattle, Washington. Hello to Seattle, Washington. I had a good time in the Space Needle when I was there. He's saying, oh, you are such a tourist. Let's go to Kerman and way up. Hans, what are you doing? Hans is way up in the balcony. In fact, he's sort of near the lighting grid. I'm just trying to see what he's doing. He's got a laser pointer. Can you point it down here? Can you do it on my hand? No? Okay. I'm moving around. It's too far away. Hans is up in the balcony tonight. He must have the earbuds on, because a lot of times you can't hear us up there. Let's go to SWL 36. SWL 37.
SWL 37 here, and was you in Lawrence?
I finally made it. I was in Lawrence over.
Well, you said it was hot. How hot was it?
Everybody was complaining. It felt the same to me. With the first days I was there, was 100 both days. And then I think it's cooled down to 95, and that's the day, in the middle of the day, all of a sudden clouds showed up, and there was this 90-minute lightning and thunderstorm with rain, and then that went away, and then the firebug and the cicadas came out.
Well, when I lived there, we had a 13 or 14-hour span of thunder and lightning nonstop when I was right across from the university. All right, and then it stopped. And lucky this was on a Friday night, so Saturday morning I went back to sleep. I didn't have to go to work. Went back to sleep. An hour later, it started back up, and I just threw the pillow over my head. I couldn't stay awake no longer. And the thunder and lightning and the humidity alone would kill you, besides the heat afterwards.
Well, therein is the difference. The temperatures were very similar to what we're all used to here in Central California, but there was definitely an aura of a lot of humidity. Fortunately, I wasn't outside that much, which I do a lot here. So it was fun. It was just they said you came in the wrong time. It's just incredibly hot, but it was fun. It was nice, and it was a little different. It was different than I thought. So back here in the air chair, everything is good, and you are checked in.
Now, did you drive or did you fly?
Someone flew me into the Kansas City airport.
Yeah, he took a car from there over to Lawrence. Okay. All right, just checking, but I hope you enjoyed yourself. It is a pleasant place to visit once in a while.
It was nice. Very nice neighborhood. Went to a big sporting goods store that was out of town a little ways, and did some other stuff, and a little bike ride. It was good. It was good. So nice to be back.
Good. I'm glad you made it back safe too.
I think I made it back safe. I don't know about everything else. Okay, I got to move on. We've got the management clown behind me, and I don't want to take too much time whether I get some demerits here. So looking good. I'm glad I finally made it.
Good.
The Old Tube Radio Network, Real Radio is glowing in the dark, and they will be showing up. We are the Directed Net Roll Call, getting through it, making sure we get everybody checked in. SWL23, I see him. You see, probably babysitting Espresso Trucking Company. I've got an X in the square. And you made a comment. It's already, where did it go? It's already gone away on my screen. So many meters. A kilometer. Well, no, we've got a quattrometer going on right now, I think. The best thing is add maybe 10 more meters, and that means I would have to be smaller. I like the fact that I'm a lot smaller than I normally am, so we'll find some more meters to put in there. Should be good. We are on page... Oh, I see Brown Dog Audio on his way to... Yeah, we'll get you checked in 57. Not a problem. That way you don't have to bring the media device in and have bad dreams. No, the Old Tube Radio Network will actually give you good dreams for you to try it. Out there in central Kentucky, BDA. Thank you for checking in 57. Wishing everyone a happy, fabulous evening and a safe Labor Day weekend, which is coming up. It's here now. It's coming up and happening. Dallas, United Delta X-Ray 347. Hello to you. And Al, who is out of town. Well, you are not that far out of town because you've joined us via the Universal Media Network. Let me go to... Somehow I got on the wrong page again. Doing those early check-ins. 36, 37, 38. Sam, SWL 38. Sam is still trying. There was some good Skipland coming in. Were they to still be there, which they're not, you might have wrote in on that, but they're all gone. I'm going to take a quick check of the DX map, which I can't show you, but on 28 MUF, you know what it is? It's showing we have openings into Northern California, all of the coast of Oregon and up into Washington. So be listening in right now. The band is open barely to the digital level, so that's really not us. But it's the entire west coast, the entire coast of Oregon and parts of Washington. Coming up next, we will say hello radio to, and thank you, Sam, SWL 39, SWL 40, SWL 41, that is Mr. Road Dog out in New York with the React team. What else is going on? There's a Bulldog. I mean, if school is in, it doesn't take long. It doesn't takes long for that to happen. That Bulldog playing, Missouri? One of those M places. Mississippi? I don't know. They're playing somebody. Somebody will chime in. Let's go to SWL 42.
Yeah, we're here. 42 in the crew, as usual.
All right, 42 in the crew, and I will get the rest of the crew checked in. I hope you are trying to stay cool, and you are sounding very good. Over.
Thank you.
Roger, as they say. Let's go to SWL 43. We got 43 on the proxy. SWL 44 up there, 360. And I was not on the Wednesday night net. I was not on the Friday Ditch Banks sideband net, so I missed out on everything. If Ron is around, we will get a fill-in on what happened on Friday evening. SWL 45, Paul and Kelly, I know you are listening in. Hope you're having a good weekend, and thank you for joining us on the Old Tube Radio Network. Digital check-in for 44. I see that, Ray. I will make sure that the X is in the proper square. There it goes. Oh, you know what? That's good. It even shows up on the screen right above my head there. I kind of like that. Kind of like that better. Less of me and more of everything else. Let's go to SWL 46. Shortwave listener 47.
So please tell me this is working.
It is working, over.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, good evening from the radio lounge. This is SWL 47. Wondering if it's firefly or lightning bug. I have some theories on that.
Oh, that's a great question. I don't know. I know from nothing. That was the first one I saw, and the people that I was with said, and they're like June bugs in the fact that they're seasonal. They said, well, it's probably you won't see any, but we're doing some bike riding through a little marsh area, and it's like there they were. Not a lot of them, but the cicadas were out too, making their little noise. It sounds like a bad fan belt on an evaporative cooler. And then the lightning bug / fireflies out there as well. So first for me, over.
Oh, good. Well, I think I've always been captivated by things that glow, magic eye tubes or lightning bugs or fireflies. I highly recommend everyone go stand in the field with them at some point in time. It's pretty spectacular. It's beyond spectacular, especially if you have a bunch of them. But there it is from the Radio Lounge.
All right, thanks from the Radio Lounge. Like, the old Tube Radio Network, beyond spectacular when we start checking in those radios and in a quick 25 words or less. I did make it up the hill. Maybe I mentioned that. That was last weekend. Made it up to Kings Canyon for a really quick, drive through the gate, get out, take the trail around the big tree, get out, look at a couple of campsites and some cabins and stuff, and then back down the hill. And it was, that was when it was cool, 70 degrees. It was fun. So we'll have to do a longer trip next time. All right, thanks for checking in.
Oh yeah, and good for you. That's awesome.
Indeed. Where we're at, page 2. Or you know what? I can look at I can look in the meters now, and I can look and see that the REA is 6.7 is working. That I've got a little bit of Mr. Orban meter audio. We've got a little bit of RF power, and that's kind of good. It's a good way for me to check my meters. I don't know why I didn't think of this before. Someone helped me with that. They said, why don't you put all the plaster all those meters on there, and then wreck it all by putting a clown in the shot. Okay, not a clown. That's management. That's OTR management hanging out with us, and we're glad they're here. Let's go to SWL 48.
Break OTR.
And the break OTR. I know that voice. Go ahead, over.
Yeah, Dennis, Tony up here in Corsico, 145. Can I get early check-in, please?
Yes, you can. Really sounding good on the radio tonight, and I'm going over to page 4, as are the people playing the home game and putting the X in the square. I hope you're doing well, and you're sounding good. Thanks for checking in.
All right, thanks for the early check-in.
All right, Tony, up there in Corsico. He's also the voice occasionally and most often on Friday mornings of the Early Risers Net, and I believe he left me some questions, which we will get to here in a little bit. They're always a brain teaser for a simpleton like me, or even if you know the answers, they're still good. And you can always, like I do, I always learn something when I go to the questions. Let's go to SWL Sammy. Did I say 48? Where is 48? Somebody said Proxy and Sam. He's probably on the Facebook. I will do that. SWL 49. I bet it's an interesting game. Everybody's gotten quiet. The locals are getting quiet around here. Let's go to SWL 50.
Break OTR?
The break OTR. I know that voice. Go ahead.
Is 50 Mark, Monkey's uncle?
50 is Mark, Monkey's uncle, over.
He is a silent key as of Tuesday afternoon.
Oh, no, I didn't know that. I missed Friday, or I probably would have known that. Well, that is extremely bad news. Mark has probably, and you know this, been checking in with us pretty close to when we started, back in 1986. and always a good guy, and always good things to say. And if there was anybody who was short on the key, that was not going to key down and take an old Buzzard transmission, it would be Monkey's uncle. He is probably on our list many, many times, checking in the Browning and maybe a few others. I would have to go back and look at the archives. And always loud. He was in a good spot up there. So, Ron, thanks for relaying the news, which is not good. And I don't know. We may have to retire that number, I think.
Roger. So, yeah, Bill called me on Tuesday, and he let me know. So, anyway, I know Sam talked to him 2 days before he passed, and sound like all was well. So, anyway, kind of a sudden thing. So, all right. Thanks, Dennis.
All right. Yeah, he's got multiple check-ins on my list. So, don't know what to say. Monkey's uncle, Mark. You know the voice. If you've been around the Central Valley, you definitely know the voice. He has a big signal here in the flatlands. And like I said, he dealt in, quality, not quantity, when it came to keying down and saying the words. It made it count. Mark, Monkey's uncle, as we say on the radio now, a silent key, and he's definitely going to be missed. Someone who's been checking in faithfully with radios and shortwave listening for pretty much the duration of what we've been doing here. So, sorry to hear about that. We are the old Tube Radio Network, and the passing of Mark reminds me about many of the stations that we've had. And, you know, when you're on for almost 40 years, there have been a lot of stations that stop by, a lot of stations that will be listening in, as we say, virtually, a lot of them. So we will keep on going. That's what we're here to do. We just keep a Saturday evening place to go. SWL 51, that's Dave. He was in earlier, sounding good, checked in as 00, and the X in the square as, again, as 51. From the golden microphone, and I don't know, he popped in on my video screen. He could pop in everywhere else. I'll see what happens. SWL 52, Mr. Aaron.
Yeah, you never know. You never know where it's going to come. But, yeah, from behind the golden microphone, and I did verify last night that it is still golden, SWL 52. And I heard a ton of traffic on 11 meters this morning. I left the rig on 11 meters from the sideband net last night. Turned on the rig this morning, and there was people from all over the country coming in, and I ended up going up to 10 meters and calling CQ for about an hour, and I worked over 20 stations. So get out there while the bands are hot, and in between the sun being angry with us. So get out there and work the stations, and don't be shy, and get on the microphone.
Indeed. See, SFI 232, sunspot numbers 180. Ooh, the A is at 26. The K is at 3. But we are in the top. We are in the best part of cycle 25. So if the A and the K cooperate, like you said, the sun's not doing any wacky, wild stuff, what Aaron just related to you will be happening like all over the place. And it's always fun when it happens on 11 and 10 and 6, because when we are in the bottom of the cycle, it doesn't happen at all. So it makes it enjoyable, because you only need 5 watts and a wire to do the good stuff. And speaking of that, you were sounding really good, really loud tonight. I don't know if you changed anything, but it's good. Maybe it's just the band is quiet, and we do have you checked in.
Yeah, as far as I know, everything is operating. The meters are moving. The spectrum scope is spectruming, and the SWR is well in check. So yeah, it's all those microvolts are making it over to your antenna. We'll catch you later, Dennis.
All right, thanks so much. As usual, I haven't been doing much HF. It should get better but still got a lot of projects going on. Thanks. Bottom of the page, SWL 53, Mr. Belair checked in moments ago. I've got his X in the square. Page 3 gets a check-in for Larry 54 and looking for M&M 55.
55 checking in.
Okay, sounding okay. Sounding more than okay. Here in the valley of Yuck, down in Fresno. M&M, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
And just for kicks, well, I took his line, but he'll say the rest. SWL 56.
Good evening, Dennis and the net, and condolences to the family of the Silent Key.
All right, thank you, Phil. I appreciate it, Mr. Grandpa. Underneath the Deodar cedar trees out in the fun part of Fresno 56. Thank you. SWL 57, Brown Dog Audio. I've got an X there already because he did come in earlier and to say hello, radio. SWL 58. You know, Jeremy's, no, he doesn't. I was going to say he's already got a proxy, but he doesn't. I got to at least proxy him in one time. Because he does come into town. Because if I don't proxy him in, he will lose that number. Yeah, he will be mad at me. Here's a guy that he was like the big deal on ORN tonight. Something was going on with Uncle Hairball tonight on the old radio night, and likewise here on the old Tube Radio Network. So 59, we've got you checked in. SWL 60, who may or may not be turning an ear to the old Tube Radio Network. I will put an X in the square for Joe, who was out there earlier, giving us some 10-5s. And Joe, if you're there, give us the update on the game.
Well, it's not good news, Dennis. Doggone it. Fresno State 10, Michigan 30. I'm sorry to have to report that. But evening time to you. We watched the game all the way through, Dennis. It was a good game. I'll put it that way. It was a good game. We're going to check in here at SWL 60, and evening time to all the fellas out there on the band, and I hope you can hear me and understand me okay, Dennis.
Yeah, you got great, good signal. Do you know the game tonight, was that the opening? I always thought they played Hawaii or something. Was that the first game of the season?
That was the very first game. Michigan will go on to play Texas, and I'm not sure who Fresno State's going to play next, but that was the first game of the season.
Okay, well, always want to be the first. Was it local or was it away?
It was down yonder. That's what they told me. So Channel 24 televised the game.
Wow. Okay, they got the rights to televise it on a local network. You didn't have to have some digital network cable turn on something and pay for it trickery. You could take a wire out the top of the house and fiddle with it and get the 24 as the NBC affiliate. I worked there. Believe it or not, I worked there long, long ago, doing their thing. All right, good stuff.
That was a good deal there, the 24 show, because it had me this morning just radically looking all over. I even called San Francisco, Sacramento, my brother, and wanted to find out who and where and who was going to show this game. But it turned out to be on 24. It was a good deal. Okay, thanks, Dennis.
All right, as they say, a real good deal. SWL 60, Joe, sounding good as always. Let's go way, way up. Beyond the capabilities of my transmitter, but this guy's got a good receiver out there past Madera. SWL 61, hello, Copenhagen.
61, checking in, Dennis.
All right, sounding loud in Midtown Fresno, and no skip land to contend with. Nice stuff. Thanks for checking in.
Thanks, Dennis.
All right, it wasn't for Dino and his good receiver, I would probably never get any Madera check-ins at all. Let's go to SWL 62. Shortwave listener 63. SWL 64. I don't think I saw Craig in earlier. I will keep my eye open, or my eyes open. Maybe that's why I missed him. I was only keeping my eye open. Hello to our new up in the balcony. People are coming in the balcony. Do they have the green room closed off because of the painting thing? Oh, Charlie's saying they have all these do not touch. Why didn't they put those in here? The do not touch signs going on. Germantown, Wisconsin, hello to you. Fairfax, Virginia, hello to you joining us up in the balcony tonight. Let's go to SWL 60. Come on down, as they say. There's good stuff here. SWL 65. I will get a proxy check in for Eric. SWL 66. SWL 67. Were I to go to my page over here, which I'm doing, can you see that now? Oh, you can actually see me with this thing. I got rid of all the garbage on the screen. Bill, up in Candy, Oregon, checking in. Bill, I'm putting an X in the square, and let me look at the DX map again. It was showing. Boy, now it's really weak. And it's right in your area. We've got a little bit of digital signals coming in, but probably would be pretty weak. But that's if we had an opening, right where you are is where it would be. Directing that roll call. I'm trying to get through it here. We've got management. The management clown. Oh, they say move the mic so we can see the management clown. There, the management clown is the OTR. I'm sorry, the Old Tube Radio Network Management Clown. Is that the right thing to say? Clown management is behind us, checking things out tonight. So if I'm not here next week, you know that my little review came in with lots of negatives. SWL 67 is in. Thank you, Bill. SWL 68 checked in early. Thank you, Michael. SWL 69 also with an early check-in. That's Kenny out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. I wasn't too far out of Tulsa. So, Kenny, I know you went early. We got you check in. Let's go to Mark, SWL 70.
Hello, Dennis. 70 checking in from the mobile on the non-grassy knoll on the ranch overlooking Loper Valley. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Boy, big signal S7. My noise level is way down at 3. Audio is great. So you have pulled up to the proper lookout point. Over.
Roger. Kind of looking over the valley here. It's kind of nice. You can actually see some lights now after all the smoke cleared.
Yeah, I was out of town. I came back and we were having these orangey sunsets, which is an indication that we might have clouds, but the clouds were all sort of smoky. I'm not sure where the fire's coming from, but a little breeze pushing it out, kind of hot today. Good. It's good to hear your voice. I hope you are also, working to get on the other HF bands as well. And it takes a long time, doesn't it, when you start moving things around?
Yeah, I've been doing a bunch of other stuff, but I'm going out backpacking next. I think I'm going out Wednesday, and I'll be trying to get back with some QRP a couple nights and stuff, see how that goes. But nothing permanent here at the hacienda yet.
All right, well, sounding good. Thanks for the extra effort tonight to join us on your favorite Saturday night place to be, the Old Tube Radio Network. Good to hear your voice.
Thanks, man. You too.
Nice things. Bobby is in 188, saying he's got some technical difficulties. I don't know what that could be. A technical difficulty for 188 is when he looks, and if the FCC is listening, I'm just joking here. When he looks at his PEP meter, instead of with 4 digits on the display, it's only 3 digits on the display. That's a technical difficulty from Bobby. That means he's not pegging the meters in Australia, but he's probably still 20 over. And I will put the X in the square. Mr. Snow Beast, always looking and sounding good here at the Old Tube Radio Network. Hello, New Day. Some people have joined us. Hello to Jukebox 502. Jumping in, waiting, just like me, waiting for those Tube radios to stop by. And they will tonight, because we are the Old Tube Radio Network. All the way, the next check-in, all the way from, where to have the right page up. Yeah, I'm all the way from Dallas, Georgia. SWL 71, and Stan did check in about an hour ago. Got him checked in early, but I put the X in the square. Thank you, Stan. Hope the weather is cooperating out there. SWL 72. SWL 73. I've got a proxy check-in for SWL 74. Then we skip over to SWL 76. Red Fox 1, I'm looking. Sometimes I will get him on either page. Don't see 76, SWL 77.
Good evening, Dennis, and all the listeners. I hope everybody's having a good time and a great weekend. 77 on the Peanut Whistle, checking in.
The Peanut Whistle sounding good. I like my new video configuration. I can look straight up into the studio monitors now and see that you're well over 20, 25 over. You've got the Orban meter doing good stuff, and of course on the headphoniums sounding marvelous. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you, sir.
All right, and from his appearance over at Old Radio Night, I think, were you at Old Radio Night, Mark? Mr. Sandquist, giving everybody a hand here. Let's see if Richard. Oops. Let's see. Everything's falling on the floor. I'm not on the microphone beam. I want to look professional. We've got the management clown behind me. Now I want to look as though I know how to use the proper mic technique. SWL 78, Richard in Wild Wildemar. He will be Bison. Here's the guy that I heard, but he did a hit and run on me. I was a little bit slow on the key down, and I know he's out there, and I get him checked in. SWL 79.
Checking in, and yes, you're a little slow today.
Yeah, actually, I was a lot slow because something was going on, and then I had to find the microphone for the two-way, the crossband two-way, and you are on to bigger yet better things. But thank you for at least keeping the 11 Miatro radio percolating, and you have now an official check-in worldwide.
It's all good. Thank you.
All right. It is good. The old Tube Radio Network with the Tube Radios coming up. SWL 80. And as we do, where is it? Where did they go? They need to step up to the microphone so we can turn the page and let Crazy Bob announce what's going on.
27.0850 TR Channel 11.
Crazy Bob did a good job of that. If you are listening on the Universal Media Network and have stereo, I can hear that in my... Obviously, I don't have a way to do stereo on 27085, but a little bit of stereo stuff. What was going on this week? A lot of school stuff. School is open. They had a little pre-tailgate somewhere. I mean, the game isn't here, but they were taking some of the sports fans out, probably to the big screen TV somewhere to watch the football game that unfortunately did not turn out as good as we had hoped. But the big red limo is... they have the little, I don't know whether it is magnetic appliques of the Fresno State Bulldog on the side of the doors when they do that. So you know they are big fans. I was in Kansas, and their mascot is a Jayhawk. So I tried to pay homage to the Jayhawks, but you know, if you're a Bulldog fan, that's what happens. Let's go on page 4 to SWL 81. And Ron, if you're still there, say hello, radio.
Hello, radio. SWO 82, checking in.
Checking in and sounding good. The voice of the Friday night Ditch Bank sideband net that can be heard here locally on 27,365. That's 35 lower. Friday evenings at 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And Ron's got a great transmitter receiver, so if you are within the skip zone, you will definitely get checked in. How was it? Was it wacky last night, like tonight, where you have one or two stations that are in really strong and you're hearing the local backscatter, or what was going on? Over.
No backscatter. Got like 3 or 4 Australian stations in, so it was pretty mellow, pretty quiet.
All right, like it is now. I mean, it's real quiet now. I'm hearing, Copenhagen with no problem. I was hearing Sanger with no problem. And you know what? I am a mud duck, so conditions are good. Sounding good, and we'll catch you. I'm sorry I was tardy. Actually, I wasn't tardy. I was just totally absent, but I was getting back from my excursion, so I will do better next week.
Roger. Okay, Dennis.
All right, thank you. Going back over to page 3, putting the X in the square as one should do when one sees the frantic waving of a shortwave listener, in this case from Johnson, Rhode Island, Red Fox 1, SWL 76. All right, you can you can be seated and head to the green room and get a piece of whatever it is they're doing, a cake or a punch. They're doing something there, and you have earned it with your check-in. Let's go over to SWL 83. Oh, JC, yeah, JC got an early check-in, and then the dynamic duo times 2. Which means we have 4 high-quality check-ins for SWL 84, 86, 87, and 88 in that respective order of Cheerios Kid, Mountain Maid, Tandy Girl, and the Snowy Owl. Thanks for joining us. And can you see it? Where is it? Where's the... Oh, it's behind everything. It is behind... It is behind the... Uh-oh. It is behind the management client. I'll have to bring it out. Because they were responsible for the old Tube Radio Network on the air sign, which got moved out of view, thanks to the clown. But and also a plaque. I should bring the and I think that was a 30-year plaque. We're almost up to our coming up to our 40-year plaque. All right, I'm I've lost the page I made. What happened to? Okay, I've got 2 pages. Well, things just went falling on the floor. Oh, you know, it's way over here. It's stuck to the, hold on. It's stuck to the floor. See, I can't take myself off the air when I do stupid things like this. Now you actually have to see me struggling. All right, I'm back. We will. I hope did someone did you guys keep the clown busy so they don't see me fumbling around here? Let's go to shortwave listener 89. We've got a check in for SWL 90. And here's a station that was in the top 10 tonight on Old Radio Night out of the Bronx, SWL 91 Felix. Hello, 91. And we have you checked in. I saw your name pop. I don't know, it was the spinning wheel thing, but I don't know if how it came up. But when I first tuned in, it was on my screen. It said Felix. I thought, oh, he must be doing something good on Old Radio Night. Let's go to SWL 92. Doing some updates here. SWL, let's see, 92, 93. I know my internet's probably a little slow, so if you are checking in digitally, I will keep an eye out in case I miss you by a couple of seconds. We'll still put the X in the square where it needs to be. Let's go to SWL 95. Their voice is way down on my noise. SWL 97. Yeah, I'm just checking to make sure the Echo link is still up. SWL 98. Tracy stopped by, checked in early, but Tracy still might be listening. SWL 99. Where is Radio Randy? I bet he will stop by. New Day. What is the New Day? What is the? I think it's a Henny Youngman joke, which I will try and give credit where it's credit due. And it gets one of the one-liners. It goes something like this: 2 guys drive up into the woods to go hunting. They see a sign that says "Bear left," so they go home. There you go. That's the best I can do here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Let's go over to the Echo link, which will require me to go over to this computer and press a bunch of buttons, and we'll be back with Tony, I bet. KD4BAO, KB6GFD, hello radio. And Tony will come in and say something, no doubt.
Hey, good evening, Dennis. Please check in SWL 100. Good to hear you. Back to net control, KD4BAO.
Okay, I got to press the right button. It is good to be heard. You are sounding as always, excellent with your Echo link up. And we've got you checked in, and thank you for the soon-to-be upcoming activation of tubes on the air. KB6GFD. That's Tony out of there in McClellanville, South Carolina, getting ready to fire up our digital tube side. Let's go to SWL 102. Shortwave listener 103. Joey, I know you are there. You were on my big page. Was it today? Well, that was six days ago. Did you make it this way? Did I miss you? All right. Here, 103 will be around. Okay, there's 102. Hippopotamus is coming back. I'll have to check the DX map. Here comes Down Under. And Randy, boy, you are a good timing. We are right in your neighborhood, so I'm putting the X in the square. We're up at 102. Radio Randy up there in beautiful Cape Creek, Arizona. Randy, I had a good talk with Jonathan the other day. He did his things. My brothers and myself, we got our Hermes radios set up and running. John was, as usual, instrumental in making sure that things were okay. So at some point, now that I have it all together, and when I get the right connectors, I might be able to do a maiden voyage on some pure signal digital trickery. But as usual, Mr. TYF comes through again. All right, thanks, Randy. Looking good. We do not have the conditions just yet. I'm going to quickly take a look at our map. The digital has moved into Seattle, up through Oregon, and there's a little spot happening in Colorado. So, might hear us somewhere in Colorado, but it's all weak signal stuff. So, stay tuned for your favorite Saturday night station. Direct net roll call. Tubes are coming up. Don't go away. Don't get discouraged. Those tube radios are warming up. Let's go to SWL 109.
Good evening, Dennis. Crawdad 109 checking in.
All right, 109. Thanks for being patient. Thanks for listening to Net Control go on, and the numbers get bigger, and finally there's 3 of them, and finally there's a 1, a 0, and a 9, and then the little light in your room blinks red, and it's like, it's my turn to be on the air. You never miss a cue. Thanks.
Thank you, Dennis, and you're sounding good tonight.
Okay, it's a good thing when even I can sound good. Let's go to SWL 110. Shortwave listener 111, Robert came by, oldtuberadio.net earlier. Unfortunately, it was right in the middle of the really weird skip that was going on. And so, of course, he couldn't hear us, but did leave a note saying, please check me in, and that is what we are doing now. Richard 78 wants to know if when he runs the AC, because sometimes in Wild Wildemar you just can't open the windows to feel good. To feel cool. You can feel good, but to feel cool, you got to keep them closed. Will that make his ground work better? It will probably make your audio, especially if you're running a condenser or a microphonium, sound buzzy and awful. But it will make you feel better, so you probably don't care. I'm putting an X in the square for SWL 78 out there in Wild Wildemar. We are looking for SWL 113. Shortwave listener 114.
114, checking in.
114, Mr. Rickshaw. Hello, Wayne. Sounding good as always. Making all the meters move in the right direction. We got you checked in.
Thank you very much for the check-in, Dennis.
And right here on page 4, just up the road a piece, SWL 103 is jumping on the screen, saying hello, radio. Put a check mark, and I will put a big check mark and an X for Joy on out there in somewhere in South Carolina. 114 is an SWL 128. That, of course, is shortwave listener supreme, John in Fairfax, Virginia, who needed to get an early check-in because he's got an early call in the morning. And we did that. I just want to make sure that we get the official X in the square, the official X in the square time. Then we jump up to 131. And then SWL 133. And then shortwave listener 135.
Hello. SWL 135 attempting to check in.
Attempting, and your attempt is 100% good. Your attempt was a good thing.
Thank you.
We will not hold your attempt in contempt. Let's go to SWL 137. We've got a check-in for AJ, the Phantom. SWL 145, Tony checked in earlier from Core School, sounding good. And were I to have, let's see, that looks interesting. Why is that so strange? I wanted to see if I have, oh, here it is, the Friday questions. We'll do a quick Friday questions. Number one, what company made the SR2000 transceiver? I know that one. The SR2000 was also called the Hurricane, and the 2000, I'm adding these because I know the answer. The 2000 was a significant number because it also it was indicative of the power output of this transceiver on PEP. I don't know. I think it was tubes. I don't know if it was solid state. I don't know. It wasn't solid state, but maybe it was. That I don't know. But the SR2000 was Hallicrafters. See, I'm a big Hallicrafters fan. And no, I never had one. And yes, it was probably their most expensive transmitter, but you didn't need the amplifier for it. All right, question number 2. What type of preamplifier invented by hams does not include a transistor, tube, or other active amplifying device? Okay, I don't know this one. What type of preamplifier invented by hams does not include a transistor, tube, or other active amplifying device? Well, that seems strange. That seems counterintuitive. If it does not have any active amplifying device, what is it preamping? All right. The answer, and you'll have to look this up because I don't have time right now, but parametric, P-A-R-A-M-A-T-R-I-C, a parametric amplifier. So is it doing some foldback or feedback trickery? What is it doing? Tell us about that parametric amplifier invented by hams, with who nary had in their toolbox a tube, in their parts box a tube, or an amplifying device. Who says that? Who says, I don't have an amplifying device, so let me make one? I don't know. All right, thank you, Tony, for the questions. SWL 188, Bobby checked in moments ago, working on his technical difficulties. Let's go up to Course Gold, SWL 195.
195, checking in, Dennis.
SWL 195, Jim up there in beautiful Course Gold. The X is in the square. Thanks for joining us here on Saturday evening for the Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks.
Thank you, Dennis.
And, oh, Chrissy is in. Did I miss you? Did I miss the jumping dolphins, or did you just jump in? Because everybody's got their dolphins ready. When Chrissy checks in to the Old Tube Radio Network, it sets off a feeding frenzy of little anchovies or whatever it is they feed to this dolphins, and there they go. So I will officially get on my screen 10 and 30 checked in. Thank you, Jim, sounding good up there in Course Gold this evening. It's DX conditions possibly up in your area. They're moving through Washington right now, maybe heading your way, but they aren't very good. Let's go to SWL 226. And anybody else I might have missed over. Oh, and there's, you know what? There's 23 Skidoo. Was it just my imagination? Or did I check in 25 and I just managed to take off 2? And I thought I checked in 23. Well, there's an X there anyway. I'm going to jump out of the air chair very quickly so that I can reconfigure for the Tube Radio check-in, which is why, of course, we are the Old Tube Radio Network. And if I don't check in any tubes, the management clown in the background is taking notes. We'll definitely have something to say about that. Back in a moment on your Old Tube Radio Network. All right, ready or not, we're going to give it a try. Your old tube radio network.
You may not find us on your TV because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
The Old Tube Radio Network radio is glowing in the dark. I should say possibly your radio is glowing in the dark. Thanks, everybody, for joining us and coming back. The chair is falling apart. I'm trying to get in a comfortable position in the air chair so that I can sit back and listen to the radios, and this is good as it gets. My name is Dennis, one of the many net controllers from the Old Tube Radio Network in the many years. Beginning sometime in the latter part of the 20th century, here on a Saturday evening, 27085, with the idea of promoting the use and distributing information about the Old Tube Citizen Band Class D service, back when it was Old Tubes, and our tube radio operators and collectors here to help, here to do it better than I could ever do by just keying up, or is it keying down, on their radios. Things to do. Do we have? We don't have a pen. Are you sure? Okay, no pen. So that takes care of that. Let's clear the rigs out, and there is a note. Oh, a note. Let me go back. I'm sorry, I cleared it too far. Let's make sure that we have an official. I've got it on the board. I think I did for Mr. Roman. SWL 92. Let me see. Did I get the X in the square? No, I didn't. All right. Okay, the X is in. For 92, Mr. Roman. Thanks for that. And with that. We will just get started immediately, if not sooner, with the tube radio check-ins. OTR is listening for any and all tube radio check-ins. Over.
135, 135.
All right, that was a perfect double. The one I did get, and don't go away because I'll pick up the other station. I'm going to write that down as 135. So, Cliff, head up in the air chair. Don't touch the side walls on the green room, lest you get a little bit of paint on your hands, but don't take a transmission just yet because I want to find out who is going to be after you. Who is the other station? Over.
14.
14. All right, Sean, I'll get you in the number 2 radio spot. Cliff is in first radio of the evening, and let me unkey and say hello. Hello, Cliff. Tell us about your radio.
Oh, hello. Is it that time already? Okay, let's see. This is from the Hallicrafters company. I'm not sure where they were, but this is the model CB3A. That's Charlie Bravo -3 Alpha. Let's see, Citizens Little Phone. Yes, oh, I forgot all about the little phone. Yeah, it's right in front of me. The Citizens Little Phone. Let's see, that is 7 tubes, but 8 channels. So you get an extra channel in there, I suppose. With it's the original unpowered hand mic, and I am in the channel A position here on channel 11. Which I'd like to read something from the manual that explains that.
All right, get the text handy. I've got the full screen when they're telling me we have another little 4-box quad split trickery thing. All right, we'll get to that, but I wanted to get the full picture if you're watching at oldtuberadio.net or clicked on the video link. The great picture that we have of the Citizens 3BCA little phone, which sounds really good. You fooled me on that one. I would have not guessed that was the Hallicrafters. This is the radio. The radio you're looking at is the radio you will be listening to. This is from Cliff's collection. All right, go. We are listening in case there's a test at the end of this check-in. Go ahead.
Okay. Hello. I'm just a tad low in frequency. And I'm not getting out the power I should be. Hope you enjoy the 2.5 watts. If you've got my picture up there, yeah, you'll see I've got the what do you call it? The extra the meter, which did not originally come with them. I still don't have the VFO, which would have gone on the left. But I do have the optional. That's the word I was looking for. I have the optional S meter, which bounces up and down uncontrollably on this thing. I have to really wait for a long time before you can give anybody an accurate thing. But I wanted to explain the channel A position of channel 11 on this radio. On page 1 of the manual, and I'm not going to read the whole thing. It's very wordy and very long. But let's see, paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the middle of it says the model CB3A is supplied ready for immediate operation on channel 11, 27085 megacycles. Operation on any one of 8 channels is instantly possible by installing, transmitting, and receiving crystals for the desired additional channels in the sockets provided. So yeah, this thing came originally with channel 11, which I think is why it's in the A socket. Back to you.
Nice. And I think these radios came out in late 1959 or 1960. So this is right the beginning year, 18 months of Class D citizen radio service, when I think the manufacturers and the FCC really thought that the rules and regs were going to be folded, and they were to a point. So notice how they make it sound like this is a very easy thing. This is not a complicated ham radio that's going to require you to solder anything or tune anything. The channels, the crystals are there. Channel 11 was a call channel. There were options, like a car. In 1959, radio, white wall tires, heater were all options. And if you didn't have those options, there would be a blank spot in that part of the car. I actually have a car that has a blank in where the radio should be, because the radio was an option. We'll talk about the options. The options here were the rectangular boxes between or on either side of the channel selector, where, as Cliff mentioned, you could have a VFO, a little spinny VFO for your receive, and would plug in. It would screw in and then plug in the back, or an S meter, which he has, and we're showing here. So if you bought the naked, as it will, if you bought the radio naked, no, not if you were naked when you bought the radio, but if you bought the radio naked, you would have 2 blank panels there, and you only got about $159. So back to you. I'm glad you have the manual with that.
Oh yeah, they're very handy. It provides lots of information, except for one. I'm not sure where Hallicrafters was when these were happening. I got right here, copyright property of the Hallicrafters Company, patent application pending. Doesn't say where. You know, usually they'll say what town at least the business offices are in. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, because I don't think it's pictured, is in the far lower left is a flashing neon modulation light. Lets you know that you're keyed up and hopefully modulating. But do you have any idea where they were?
Yes, I believe until... Oops, what happened there? That's interesting. I know this question. It was Chicago, Illinois, I believe, until maybe the late 60s, because they started, when they might have still been there, but they started importing some of their radios, either building them or importing them from Japan. I think my FM 1000, that's from 1970, that's the portable AM or FM radio, may have been made in Japan, but I'll guarantee the one you have and that we're looking at right now was not. But it would be their Chicago station. Over.
Oh, yeah, Roger. And it does say made in USA. But, yeah, where in the USA it does not say. So I just thought I'd ask. Yeah, Chicago makes sense. It wouldn't be 60601, would it?
I think that's Spiegel, 60609 or 60 something like that, but it's probably a 6060 for sure. The and you have the same logo that I have, the little red dot with the lowercase h. That is what is on my, this is 1959 or 60. So 10 years later, they were still using the lowercase h. I think on most of their shortwave radios, that was sort of their logo through the late 50s and the 60s. Pretty cool from Howler Scratchers.
Oh, yeah. It's the same logo that's on my SX122 as well. So, yeah, it's a cool one. But the microphone has the lowercase h, but it's in black and silver. I have no idea why.
Interesting. Really good audio. Those are prone to, if you shout into the carbon element, which you may or may not have on that, they can go into flat topping. But I brought up the meter when you were talking. You have almost 10 dB of forward modulation going on, almost 2 S units. It certainly sounds good, doesn't sound pinched. Oh, and yes, I'm going to do a 0-beat radio theater for you, so go ahead and take a transmission. And then let me, before you do that, let me switch. What do I want? I want to switch to this photo right here. All right, go ahead.
Okay.
1, 2, 1, 2, test, test, test.
This is the Halcrafter CB3A Citizens Little Phone. Attention citizens, this is a little phone.
Have you found me yet? My twinkle meter here says 0848, so I'm just the teensiest bit low, well within your bandwidth, I'm sure. Back to you.
You win the prize. That is exactly where I get you. 84, I mean, on the money, 84.8, especially on sideband with AM. You can tweak a little bit, but to get your voice sounding 0, beated, 84.8. So that's not bad at all. You were within the 700. Oh, and here's, I will say something here that will take us to our next little question before we pick up Sean. You are 700 cycles. You are 700 hertz. Were it to be 1929, you are 700 cycles low. I mean, 700 cycles was the offset, higher low. But you are 200 hertz cycles low, over.
Yes, as the way I understand it. And, yeah, I guess things didn't hurt as much back then. Never mind. There's a joke in there somewhere, I'm sure. But anyway, yeah, that's it for me for this week. I hadn't checked in the Halcrafters in a while and wanted to bring it out and see if it still worked. I'm glad it is, and can't wait to hear it on the replay. Back to you.
You will be very happy on the replay radio. 23's could do it. Ask the question about when they change from cycles to hertz. You will see, and I would not have guessed 1930. I would have guessed earlier or later than that. I'm going to say in the mid 40s because I'm sure I have some tube console RCA, you know, the big furniture radios where it probably says CPS, which is cycles per second instead of Hz, which is hertz. So somebody look at when was Heinrich Hertz? When was he born? When was Mr. Hertz hanging around there, and why did they pick 1930? So maybe no. I'll have to go back on some of my older radio. I have a Gelflin that's probably from the 50s, and I know the RCA, I think, or no, I'm sorry, not an RCA, it's a Zenith with the shutter dials from the mid-1940s. And so, oh, look, I'll see if that's cycles or hertz. That's an interesting question. Now, that's the official change, right? That doesn't necessarily mean you had to change your dials to CPS or HZ from CPS, but I certainly would have not thought about 1930 on that. So tell about Mr. Heinrich Hertz. All right, thank you. SWL 135, making sure I wrote down everything as correct as it should be. You will be happy on the replay. The Halcrafters CB3A. This is actually a pretty good seller for them early on. There was another one, and I think I misspoke. The 1959 radio was not the CB3A. It was a CB1, which you also have, and that's checked in before. This radio was, I think, 1962 or 63. You will actually see it advertised if you get some of those S9 or some of the full CB magazines that came out there in the early 60s. Halcrafters spent some money to do some half-page ads in late 62 or 63 for this very radio that was very nicely priced, considering it, about $159, easy to use. And there was a lot of them out there. And there's one out there right now. Thank you, Cliff.
Quick comment?
This is the quick comment frequency, over.
Okay, I thought it was sometime in the 70s when they switched that over, because first of all, when I was taking electronics in high school, it was all about cycles per second. And back to the manual right here, it says right here, let's see, self-contained transmitter receiver designed for Class D 27 megacycle citizen band service. So at least when they printed this manual, and it has MC and KC all through this manual. So at least, I don't know, they hadn't shifted to hertz. I thought it was sometime in the mid-70s.
Well, like I said, I would have definitely not guessed 1930. So we will look for an explanation or a reason of that particular answer, which is saying that that is correct for 1930. So if we have an update on that, I will let you know about it. But I don't know, like you, thinking, wasn't it later? Because I'm sure I've been seeing MC on some stuff. We'll find out more. What year did hertz become? Okay, well, let's put it this way. The question reads, what year did hertz become the unit of measure for frequency? So that's not necessarily to say that you had to use it on, on whatever you're doing, but there might have been some official, we're banging the gavel, and when we write it down, it's going to be this. But you would think that possibly they would change it. All right, Hertz died in 1894. Wow. The International Electrotechnical Commission officially named the unit of frequency after the physicist Heinrich Hertz in 1930. There you go. And as they say, all over the world, who knew? Are we doing the jingle singer? No, they're saying Sean is standing by, so we're going to go straight. We're going to go straight out to Sanger. We're going to go straight out of Sanger, and for SWL 14. Hello, Sean. Over.
Yeah. Hello, Dennis. Hopefully you're hearing me. I have new to me radio of interest.
Ooh, a new radio. And so obviously, or possibly, I should say, it might be new to us here at the Old Tube Radio Network. So take a transmission and tell us about it, over.
Yeah, well, I'm on a Metrotech Mustang. It's a 6-channel, 23-channel tunable receive, and it has a volume control as well, the original hand mic, and it's in very nice condition.
Wow, all right, we have a very nice picture of the Metrotech Mustang, and there's some trickery going on with the lighting that I'm not sure. Looks like they've got some LEDs on this one, but it may not be indicative of what's going on. But a very apropos radio, because it's another early radio that's got 1, 2, 3, maybe six channels, tunable receive, back in that day when you tried to keep it simple. Audio is not fully 100% modulated, but it's nice and clear, and I have no problem hearing you. It has been a very, very long time since we've checked in any type of Metrotech radios, and the Mustangs don't come by that often, so something very rare. And as you say, new to you, possibly new to us, back to you.
Yeah, well, when I saw it on eBay, I have a garage full of Mustangs, so it fit right in. And when I received it, Harvey came over, and we had it operating in about an hour and a half. The only thing about it, though, is it's an anemic base model Mustang, 6-cylinder drivetrain. All we could get out of it was about a watt dead heat swinging to a half a watt. So this is going to a 10-tube Phantom to make the trip, and I don't get very much out of it on high power.
Well, the the audio is still good. I brought the estimator up. Yeah, you are, my noise level, your audio brings your signal out of the noise. But you are very, very copyable. So about an S4 at the peak. Certainly not as strong as you were during the check-in, but the extra help is certainly needed to make it from Sanger here to Midtown Fresno. We'll do a frequency check. The radio is cool. I just want to establish, because I think this one has an addition that is not on yours. It looks like there's a row of lights or some type of lighting at the very bottom of the case below the control knobs. And I'm thinking that is not a standard thing, but maybe it is. Are there illumination devices below the tuning, or below the squelch and tuning knobs over?
Negative on that. The only illumination is a transmit light that is above another orange light that indicates it's on. And those lights are right in the middle of the radio, in between the tune and the volume. Blue painted.
Yeah, that's exactly what we were seeing here. So if you watch the video or see the picture, you can kind of get an idea of what this person did. It looks like they took some LED strip lights and put it, I don't know. It's probably in front of the radio. It looks kind of neat. It looks a little scary, actually. So keeping things the way they are. You've got a switch. Let me see if I can go to the close-up and tell what that is. Oh, it's tune. It's tune and something. So it's probably tune and spots. You can change the dial. I will ask you, on the tune control, that's your 23-channel receive. Is it geared? I'm not giving the right word. It's like a ratio. So if you turn the knob, the pointer, as it were, will go sort of slowly, or is it not geared? So I'm going to say if it's not geared, you're going to have really a lot of challenge to get that thing tuned in.
I would call it a gear reduction. Yes, it does have the gear reduction. The switch in between the tune and the channel is a crystal and a tune switch. So there is no spot. And I have to look in there with a flashlight to see which crystals I have in the channel selector. So it's new to me radio. The whole setup actually is all new. First time being heard on the OTR all-2 drive. I'm really excited to hear it on the replay. I'm really glad it's making the trip. I was nervous about it. Harvey and I were sticking paper and Teflon tape and everything in the little tuning deal, trying to get the screw that stripped out to catch. So unfortunately, we were unable to do that, but at least it's making the trip.
Making the trip, yeah. If you could get probably another watt, even a half watt, you'd probably kick the reverse preamp into another stage, bring yourself up an S unit, and really come up out of the noise. But I have no trouble hearing it. It's super quiet here tonight on my end, and it actually has fairly decent audio. It's not the super loud, but a preamplified microphonium, or possibly some hookup to like the Demco modulator, the 2-tube Demco modulator with just a standard microphone. Could probably help that radio. I just got to be careful not to do any flat topping. Let me go back to the full screen picture. The radio we're showing says Metrotech Mustang photo courtesy and from the collection of Mark N5 RPZ, and through the courtesy of Sean out there in Sanger, we are actually hearing the Mustang. Take a transmission. I'll find out where you're at on frequency.
Yeah, I tried to drive it into the Phantom like that. It did not like it, even though it's 5 watts. For some reason, it made it sound like the car has a dead battery, and you hit the key, that clicking sound, and I was unable to boost the signal like that.
Indeed. All right. Well, the mystery is revealed, and I've actually brought you in a little better. You are at 27086.2, so you're about 1,200 cycles. Oh, I'm sorry, Heinrich. You are 1,200 hertz high. So you could be, and somebody with a narrow receive, you could be out of their pass band a little bit. You might sound more like sideband. I'm running wide, so I didn't notice it, but it did brought you up on the meter a little bit by tuning up to 270-86205, where it sounds very good. Over.
Well, good. I'm glad you're able to skin me in a little bit better. This is pretty much out of the eBay box from the shipping. We messed with the receipts a little bit, but I don't believe we did anything with the transmit. So glad that it's making the trip, and I sure appreciate the time for the Metrotech Mustang.
Very good. We've got crystal control transmit as it needs to be per the FCC rules. We've got a tunable receive, and probably somewhere, a lot of times they put it on the front, but I don't see it there. You've probably got another crystal where you could pop in a single channel to hit that crystal button off of the tune. From Metrotech, let me go on my other page here and see if I've got any information on that. Metrotech Mustang. No, I don't have a make date or a tube complement or nothing. But it does sound good. Like I said, it'd be interesting to possibly hear a preamplified microphone or a modulated whatever. But it don't need it for a check-in on Saturday evenings. Doing just fine. Thanks for bringing it by. You've got a lot of people saying that's a nice, clean. It is a good-looking radio. And someone says, I hope he gets a new mic. Radio could do better. Anyway, like you said, out of the box, not a problem. You scored 100% on that one. The Old Tube Radio Network, the Jingle Singers are now ready, and we'll be back after this.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, the friendliest nation for you by far is known to all and
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
the station for you is
OTR.
The station for you, and maybe even you on a Saturday evening here from Central California to everywhere else. Thanks to oldtuberadio.net, our tube radio aficionados, our collectors, and people who have been hanging out with us since probably about 1986 on a Saturday evening, wanting to get those radios out of the respective radio garage and on the road for a little bit. That is why we are here. We are listening for radio number 3.
37.
Bingo. All right, I'm logging you in at 37. You know, my clock is still flashing. I thought, didn't we fix that? Oh, they said that's why. Nobody likes to touch the clock, because I guess maybe I get cranky when they do it wrong. Chris, take a transmission. You are Radio 3.
Okay, Dennis. Well, I want to check in my general radio telephone, my Super MC11A. This is the 24-channel version of Bose, and it seems to be working from what I can see here. And we are registered here with the original handheld stock microphone. Over.
Nice and loud, no amplification needed, no Demco modulator or stuff like that. On channel 11, that came with all 23 channels, so no need to flip a switch or go inside and change the crystals. And indeed, on a Saturday evening, you will go to channel 11 and do what you are doing now. Back to you.
Yeah, keying up and transmitting. Over.
That's even, out of the box, a good skip shooting radio as well.
I wish I would have had the box with it.
I don't have any photos showing whatever box that might have come in when General Radio Telephone out of Burbank or wherever they ship those radios out of winded up. And I bet they didn't ship it to your door. You probably had to go to your favorite electronics store and pick it up.
Well, in my case, it's a good old thrift store.
Info.
The thrift store is a good place to find a lot of things. Although I notice the prices, they're starting to look at eBay to figure out their thrift store prices, and that's always a little, disconcerting, because some of those prices are a little not good, especially when you're trying to find the radio at a decent price. There's some info, so Chris, stand by. We'll pick up the info. This is the Old Tube Radio Network.
None of my generals It came in a box from General. But I did pick up several of their meters, and their meters were in original General radio telephone boxes, and some of the labels on them indicate they went to residences. So I guess you could buy and have them, over the phone and have them shipped to you.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be doing that there now, but hey, I'm just happy I got the radio.
And so are we on the Old Tube Radio Network, that you have it, because then we have it. And, of course, it gets put through the Universal Media Netweb, and everyone has a chance to listen in and say, you know what? I'm going to look on eBay. I'm going to look at the thrift store. I'm going to look up at Uncle Fred's garage storage unit, or I'm just going to wander down the street to the yard sale, and maybe I, too, will stumble across a General Radio telephone of some flavor. Radio number 3, beautiful downtown Burbank and northwest Fresno, I think, or just North Fresno, sounding good tonight. Over.
Well, actually, I am considered just west of Blackstone, so I am considered northwest, but north, it's closer to north than it is to west.
No, it's a good location. The Super MC 11A doing a good job on Channel 11.
Okay, Des, thank you. I want to at least get this one checked in. I'm going to go in here with the wife and sit here and watch some old boob tube. We've been watching that all evening. They've had nothing but sci-fi going really good tonight.
All right, good. It's nice to know that they can get it right on television occasionally and put something good on. Our competition, of course, is what's on television. See if we can keep people tuned in. And we can, except when there's a Fresno State football game. And, of course, if Old Radio Night is going simultaneously, we have a lot of operators that are listening in the left and right ears to do both at once. OTR standing by. Oh, no, they say the jingle singers are ready yet again. And so they will do their thing, and then we'll be listening for radio.
You're listening in the latest style.
27.085 megahertz. Channel 11 Old Tube Radio.
In wonderful
Fresno, California.
47.
Hello, 47. It is not a requirement, but are you too in wonderful Fresno, California?
Well, I am. I think there were several people that keyed up there, but 47 is.
All right, and 47 is our radio number 4 in wonderful Fresno. Of course, one does not have to be in wonderful Fresno to join us here at the Old Tube Radio Network, but take a transmission, and I will see if I can find the radio on which you're speaking to show everybody.
Well, I hope this one is still working. From the Radio Lounge, for the second week in a row, after quite some time of not being used, this is my Robin, T123, no B. After that, I almost wanted to say B, but no. It's got the, it's just magnificent, the Magic Eye tube in here. And what I believe is a rather finicky PA switch. As I was listening to folks earlier, like audio went out for a while, and once again I kind of messed around with that PA switch, and everyone came back up. So hopefully it's still transmitting, and well, at least through my IMAX 2000 antenna.
The IMAX 2000 doing a good job, and even better, the radio sounding very loud, very nice. You don't have to worry about shouting into this one as you are being coached by the 6RE13. That's the Magic Eye tube that is standing vertical in the front case there through the little cutout window. Sounds good. Your discovery of weeks prior that the radio is indeed alive is a good thing for all of us.
Yeah, it's well, it's fun to use, and I think that's what it basically boils down to. The Magic Eye tube you mentioned is just, well, I gotta say it's extravagant. I used to spend a lot of time on the radio patio using this, and of course I was barbecuing, so you'd put a plate in front of it, and it when you speak into the microphone, of course, the Magic Eye tube closes, of course, and it looks like some sort of a robot mouth, and it used to look like that mouth was eating my food, but it's fun to use, and it's nice to use, especially at this late of night, because I don't apparently I don't have to scream into it like the other Robin we have here.
And you're a soft talker anyway. You're not a screamer, so this one suits you well. Perfect. No, you don't have to scream into either of them, because I can hear you okay on that one, this one and that one. So not a problem. It's just nice to have it. And I'm looking at the comments. Don't mess with it. Don't sell it. All right. And hello to Peter. Peter's listening up from British Columbia. Dwayne, I don't understand. Do I watch Green Acres or OTR? You know, wouldn't it be nice if we could have some guest hosts? Maybe we could have Ebb, or Alf and Ralph, or Arnold. Arnold the Pig would be a much better net controller than perhaps me, and would enjoy the radios as well. I don't think they ever had a CB thing on Green Acres. I digress. Come on in. You know what? Oh my gosh. I forgot to adjust my transmit frequency. Hopefully I sound a little bit better, because I was trying to find somebody. Speaking of that, take a transmission. I'm going to find out where you are on the Hertz/cycle meter. Over.
Okay, well, I'm going to find out information out on a different radio. I'm now on my Robin T123B as in Bravo. This is the one. You got to kind of, you have to be very intentional if you're going to broadcast on this one. I don't know where it's transmitting at, but I'm looking forward to getting that report.
All right, a little trickery, but I like that. 27084.7. So about 300 hertz /cycles, low, certainly in the FCC mandated 700 cycle. Don't be off on your crystal, or we'll come and slap a $50 fine on you back in the day. And it sounds good. You know, you must have elevated your amplitude modulated voice, because this does not sound weak at all. It sounds good.
Oh, good. You know, that's funny, because it's been quite some time since I've done back-to-back on these two Robins. I got to say that the audio received on my 123 is a little bit better than this. I don't know if maybe I ought to play around with the knobs on this thing. I don't know, but as far as I believe, the receives better on the other one. I don't know if it had something to do with the replacement speaker I got on the 123. I think a cat at some point in time, I'm sorry to use this language, but a cat had pissed on the speaker on the other one. So Harvey was kind enough to replace it, and there it is. The only stench we have now is of vacuum tube radios, which is just spectacular.
That is a good thing, and there's no replacement necessary when you smell the aroma of burning dust off the tubes. And this is two-way radio, so I think we can go that we can talk about the cat and then the Papa India Sierra Echo Delta function going on, but you have taken care of that. You are radio. Oh my goodness, I'm sitting here talking, and I didn't even log you in, and I've got. You know, that's going to be a demerit. Let me go back there. That's going to be a demerit with the radio clown, the OTR management clown behind me. But notice I have noticed the error of my ways. So before you actually sign off, you will be officially checked in here at 9:53 Pacific Daylight Time on the Robin T123 Bravo. Over.
Okay, goodness sakes. I know I've made this comment before, but even after all these years, what a joy it is to use these just absolutely delightful, well, I want to call it a toy, but it's not, how fun this is. Absolutely wonderful. So thanks for giving us all the opportunity to use these guys on a Saturday night in 73 from the Radio Lounge.
All right, thanks for jumping into the Radio Lounge. It's probably where I should be. It's still very warm in here, but I am in full old tube radio uniform. And what is wrong? They're saying there's something wrong with the lighting in the back. I don't know. There's probably something turned on. I could fix that, but it's not about the lighting. It's about the lighting in your room or your Radio Shack, I should say, because of the tubes coming up through little vents and putting designs and neat little things across the wall and the floor and your face or whatever's going on, because that means the tubes are going on. The Jingle Singers are indeed having a nice evening. We'll be back in a moment. It is, I thought it was 9:34. It's 9:54. So we can get a few more radios in there with no problem. The old Tube Radio Network.
Let's do some spelling.
OTR. 27.085 megahertz. Channel 11, Old Tube Radio. Old Tube Radio.
Listening for Radio 5.
101777.
Okay, big signal into the control room here tonight. I'm going to clear out my current radios because we will have more to add. 1017, take it away.
Yes, sir. The old T-Berry Model T, one of my all-time favorites. The first radio I had purchased in high school. So the Model Ts hold a special place. This one is a little extra special. It does have the 40-channel PLL circuitry with the digital readout. So that was pretty cool, and someone very special gave me this radio. So I love checking it in.
And we love hearing a great signal, great audio. That chassis of radio, no problem. I mean, it's really hard to make those sound bad. That was just a good choice back in that time, and probably put a big hurt on a lot of the other manufacturers, because it was just hard to beat the price and then what you got inside. Convection cooling, with this picture we can see the vents on top keeping the tubes cool. You can take a transmission over.
Yeah, I can cook eggs on her in the morning. I don't put the sizzling sausage on there, though. It might be a little greasy on the tubes, but yeah, I'm really blessed. I love this radio, and I'm glad everybody gets to hear it. Hopefully it's clean enough with the stock D104 and the old Varmint reverse preamp. Hopefully everything is playing well together.
Yeah, I've got our new quad split going on. You can see the 25 dB of unmodulated carrier, and just kind of walks up, doesn't stress, doesn't quiver up to a 30 over, and I suppose it could go more. So we're not over peaking, flat topping anything, and the audio is loud. Let's see, what are the questions? Is the channel going to the birds? Well, the T-Berry, the Robin. Looks like Robin copycats. Well, I don't know. That would be a good question. Who copied? Let me get the full picture of the radio. Who copied who? Who came out first? That would be something. 23s could do would know that. This is the 40 channel, so this is the end of the line for that Panasonic chassis. Who was the first to actually get their Panasonic 2 on the air? The Robin and the Model T. They did get the TX, the RX, the Mod Lite, the CBPA, and the meter switch. So you do not have, and I'm looking here, and I could have missed it, you do not have a range expand on that, right?
No range boost and no headphone jack either. This one is more the economy model as far as that goes.
Right. It'd be nice to have a price point to see what the difference between would be 240D, which is basically what this is, and the T-Berry Model T. I remember a lot of the Model Ts of the T-Berry, hearing that word in that radio. But you did get the fine-tune, so all is not lost. Radio number 5, a blast from the past, and a real blast from the past, not only from the operator, for the radio itself, and for us, because it's 2024, and things that were brand spanking new in 1976 and 77 are still alive, well, happening, and sounding good. Back to you for a transmission.
Well, I sure appreciate it. And I'll tell you what, that Mustang that Sean has, that is a really cool radio. Never seen one of those before. And just a toast to Mark. And I did a shot of Irish whiskey in his name. And I know he's up there smiling at everybody down here. All right, Dennis, 73s and 73s to all the listeners.
All right, Dennis, I agree. I agree. Like I say, been on the net here pretty much from when it started, so you know when Saturday rolls around, it'll be, hang on, I've got something to do. Someone's saying, oh, the Model T 40-channel version was the last of the Panasonics. So there you go. A very good deal, and thanks to the Old Tube Radio Network, we can pass it along. Everybody else say, yeah, I had one of those, or I know I had somebody that had one of those, or doggone it, I need one of those for my collection. Thanks for bringing it by.
Thank you, sir.
Breaker 1-1.
All right, you broke it enough that I think the radio is now not broke, over.
Yeah, we didn't want to hurt your radio. We didn't want to hurt our radio, and Dennis, doggone it, that worldwide T-Berry yours, I love it, man. I remember I had one of those. I can really remember the T-Berry, but mine was solid state. Dennis, I'd like to check in my Blackface Johnson. We did a little of the wiring to the box, the little helper, like you asked last time, and yeah, I got a bit confused, but I hope I got it right.
You got it right. It's really loud. It sounds great. Just takes a little on that first key up. Takes a little time for it to warm totally up, and then the audio comes blaring through. Doing a good job. Back to you.
Well, Dennis, doggone it. We're going to leave it at that. We're going to give you a little general description of my Blackface. 10 tubes, 10 channels, and we are on a Gray Bass D104 amplified, of course with a little bit of help. We're doing about maybe 110% modulation according to the meter, and about 30, maybe 35 watts coming out your way.
It's good. We have the S meter on there. There's definitely no problem for me to hear you tonight on Radio 6, the Johnson E.F. Johnson Messenger, TWO. They spell it right out there on the front, Tango, Whiskey, Oscar. Believe it or not, when I was visiting my brother up in Kansas, on his shelf was indeed the Messenger, too. So I got to see one up close, and I was just amazed how unassuming that radio is. The knobs aren't very big. The little windows are small. There's the big speaker in front, but boy, it's deceiving because it packs a punch, over.
Well, I'm glad you liked it, because I feel the same way about this one. Dennis, I've always talked about these little lights in the front with the dials. They're about the size of the center of the knob. Very easily seen, though. You have your C channel, and of course you got your channel 11, your squelch, and your on and off switcher. But doggone it, it's an amazing radio, a good solid radio. I wouldn't trade two for this one. Well, that'll do it for this one. I've got another one warmed up. I know time's rolling. The evening's been getting a little better around here. It was pretty sad after that loss to Fresno State took from Michigan. It took me a while to get over that, and I made a few phone calls, and I cried that out to the people, my brothers and stuff like that. It was a shame. But anyway, I've got another one warming up, and I want to get it going.
All right, I'll be here for that. I've got management watching, so yeah, we never turn down or turn away, I should say. We might turn down the radio, but that's just because it's too loud. But we never turn away a radio here on the Old Tube Radio Network, and we will be standing by. Thanks for Radio 6 from the Edgar F. Johnson Company out of Waseca, Minnesota, the beautiful Messenger TWO. Over.
Sneak in?
Yes, you can. You caught me counting. You caught me counting and amounting on one of my pages. So sneak in while we're getting the other radio warmed up. Over.
Okay. Yeah, it turned out I had a busy week there, so no extra radios for tonight. And you can proxy me in next week. I will be working next week. So proxy me 29 and 54. And Bill let me know about Cousin Mark. Anyway, by the way, Mark drove a Mustang too.
Okay, I'm not sure I ever met him at any function. It's amazing you can, be on the radio for years and years and never meet somebody, and what they say, put the eyeball on them, but you pretty much know them from their radio personality. And the Mustang too, that's kind of a rare Mustang. It was the that kind of middle year between that one and that one.
Roger. He took very good care of the car. And even though, I kind of thought that was a mistake, he liked it. And he kept it in real good shape. Engine, body, all that. Nice looking car for him. Me, but he was a good guy. Worked at the shop along with Bill for, forever. Okay, lived up in the mountains around North Fork or something like that.
You are correct. He was up in the North Fork, but he was in a good position. He would come in, I'm not sure if he was just running barefoot or not, but he would always have a good S9 10/9 signal. If he was on the Browning, I would get an earful on the headphoniums, and he wouldn't take a lot of time talking about the radio. He just wanted to make sure he could get it on the list and let everybody hear it.
You got it. Okay. I think you had enough time to hook up the radio. So check in my Golden Beagle, R68T68, from Browning Lavatories. Custom D104 with the BL logo on the back. And we'll catch you next week, maybe if I get back in time.
Okay, very good. Somebody asked the question, and you answered it on that last transmission. They were saying, is that the Beagle? And indeed it is the Beagle. And here's something, and you might not be able to answer it quickly, and that's okay. Maybe we'll save it for weeks coming up, because you might want to think about it, but you might off the top of your head. Someone asked, and there could be more than one answer here, what type of tube CB radio never breaks down or has less problems? That's a complex question. I bet we can't get an answer, because some of these radios probably don't break down, but when they do, there are more problems because they're big and there's a separate transmitter and separate receiver and blah, blah, blah. And some of them, when they do break down, if it's a huge transmitter, a huge transceiver, there's a super room to work on everything, or maybe the chassis is easy to work on, stuff isn't, in the wrong spot, or maybe just is like nothing ever goes wrong. So interesting question, something to ponder. And if anybody would know, Harvey would have some expertise in, I have these radios, but I never seem to have to work on this one as much as as much as that other one. All right, so the question, and we don't have an answer tonight, what type of tube CB radio never breaks down or has the least problems? Over.
I will think about that one, get back to you in a little bit.
All right, very good. The Old Tube Radio Network, listening, we've got a couple of minutes here. We'll see if we can get another radio.
60.
And as soon as I say it, the other radio is in the queue. And I'm getting good. I'm getting good to know the sound of that radio. So I'm going to walk on the wild side here and pull up a picture of something and have it ready to go. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm glad it was the right radio that I hooked the coax to the box. Doggone it, I wasn't sure whether it was the right radio. Anyway, from World Radio Labs, my Hustler, 7 tubes, 8 channels.
As they say, 7 tubes, 8 channels, no waiting. World Radio Labs, Leo Meyerson, was at Council Bluffs, Iowa, made in the US of A. He wasn't afraid to put the WRL, the World Radio Labs logo on the front. It's almost like the Messenger 2 on steroids, because they give you a meter, a couple extra knobs, make the thing a little bit bigger. Looks like it's probably really easy to work on inside that radio if you want to. I guess the only thing would be the hardwired microphone, but you guys have already taken care of that. Over.
Oh, that's a done deal. Oh, sure. Harvey makes sure that I wouldn't have no problems there. And I did like that radio that Sean was on. The Mustang kind of resembled the speaker material that this one has for the cover, except this one's a little smaller than the Mustang. Interesting radio, that Mustang. But anyway, doggone it, that's going to do it for me, Dennis. I wanted to be sure to get this one checked in. It's been warming up here a while, and the room temperature went up about 10 degrees since the program started. So I'm going to get these things turned off here, but we're gonna say good evening to you, and thanks a whole bunch, Dennis.
All right, likewise, thank you, and to all our tube radio operators along the years and tonight that take time out from whatever they're supposed to be doing on a Saturday evening and maybe jump into the radio room and share the radios with us here in the Central Valley of California and everywhere else across the Universal Media Netweb at oldtuberadio.net. Hopefully, not only educating, but inspiring others to do likewise, to get on the air night when you can say, well, there's just nobody on, and that could be true, so why not get on with a group? It doesn't have to be vintage radios. It's just some way to recreate what would happen. On a Saturday evening after Jackie Gleason went off the air, you might jump in and talk to your friends on channel 11 or 12 or 9 or whatever it was you did and have a good time. And not get a bill at the end of the month, not get charged for it. Not have anybody track you. Nobody is ever going to track you on your two-way radio. The Old Tube Radio Network counting and amounting, and we will be back. If they didn't run away, we'll get the, they're here. We'll get the jingle singers, and we'll be back with the fanfare in a moment.
You're tuned to
OTR, Channel 11,
right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us
Old Tube Radio.
and be modern.
How about those radios? Well, there are some old tube radios that I've never had to work on because they never break down, but I don't know about them, if you get my drift. I've worked on Generals and Brownings and Trams. Now, the Generals, Brownings, and Trams, all very well made. The Generals, I believe, my opinion, if they had made bigger or longer or expanded the chassis so things weren't so crammed in, that would have been a better thing for the generals. The trams and Brownings, all very well made, but if you abuse them, you know, they all break down. So I would kind of say a general, well, actually a Browning tram and then maybe generals. If you don't abuse them, they really don't break down, except the occasional tubes. But that was just my opinion.
All right, and a good opinion it is here on the old Tube Radio Network, and it sounds about right. And of course, as a technician, you know, you would always like to be diving into that tram TR27E with lots of space on it, or point-to-point wiring or things like that. Good deal. And again, it could just, like you said, if the radio is taken care of properly and probably stored in not super dusty or moist humid conditions, and it was fairly decent to begin with, it should work. And then there's other parts, like you could drift off frequency, but is that the radio's fault? That's more of a component part like a crystal, or, you know, a tube can go bad, but that's not necessarily a fault with the radio, like there's bad switches or contact points, or the transformers were right on the verge of doing bad things and in a bad spot where they were throwing heat out on other components, things like that. So could have a bad batch of something. Maybe there's a radio where this particular series, you know, early series, had an issue, and then General did that, where they go back and they fix something or they tweak something, and then the second half of the radio manufacturing dates are doing well. Are they ready? Because I cannot officially give out the numbers unless we do this. So here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, time now for the current OTR totals.
All right, I like that. It's like the Brady Bunch thing, where they're looking up and down at everybody. That's what I'm doing here in the what we'll call it the quad split. The old Tube Radio Network, Real Radio's Glowing in the Dark, for the last day in August of 2024. We have been doing this particular item of interest on Saturday evenings from the mid 1980s, probably 1986. I don't know if there's an official first date when things just got wacky, but it started out with just a group, no formal paper or anything. I was like, hey, Saturday, let's go down to Channel 11 and kind of get away from the noise and pull out our tube radios and talk about them. So it's one of those things that kind of caught on. And who knows, back in the day, maybe we were all wearing our seersucker jackets and a bow tie, because that's how you dressed. The old Tube Radio Network, 17 SWLs on page 120, on page 220, on page 3 and 27. That's big. 84. Big turnout tonight. Maybe not so for the Bulldogs, 10 to 30 as they go down.
42.
As they go down in defeat. Let me see. 42. Go ahead. Over.
Yeah, we're kind of lagging, but you know how it is when you get old. We'd like to get just another one you can tack in. I'm not going to drag it out and beat this horse. We got a Tram Titan 4. Thanks to good old Harvey. You got to love him. And Mark is definitely going to be sorely missed. It's another key that we didn't need to lose, and we'll be there eventually. And it's just reality, life. Grow old and die, and that sucks. But 42, man, with this Tram Titan 4, we're going to definitely hit you with a lot, Dennis, when we get a chance. We'll have a real busy OTR for you. Other than that, I got a question, and then I'll get out of your hair. Have you gotten the pics from the email?
Oh, that is a good question. I have been, although this last week has been kind of wacky and busy. So I will check, and that probably means I need to check various folders, possibly even spam malicious folders, just to make sure that something didn't go awry. So I, at this moment, don't have a picture that I could throw into the mix. So if it's possibly been sent this way, I will look in some various different folders to make sure that I haven't overlooked it. Over.
No, it's no biggie. I was just curious. I every Saturday I mean to ask you, and we've been thrashing, me and Dennis both. You'd be amazed at what this looked like. And I'll get you some more pics, but send me when you get it, if you check it and it's there. But I want to get that to where I can send it to you. I'm going to send you a lot of stuff, man, and you're definitely going to trip out on it. But it would be nice to get our individual radios, especially Dennis's Cam 88, the Cobra, and then another one I won't even name because that's another special one, way special. So we've been running up on some cool things. We run up on a couple of VFOs, old Heath kits, and then we come up on the Glen. So it's going to be interesting. Let me know. That way I can start shooting you this stuff, and then you can post this. Oh, God, I hope you didn't hear that. So I'm out, and thanks again for the check-in on the Tram Titan 4.
Quickie comment?
All right, thanks for bringing it by. That was a good choice, the way things have been working out tonight. And the Quickie will be right with you on the Tram Titan 4. I don't have a good picture at all, so it'd be nice to get one. And some of those other radios are likewise on the picture. The Tram Titan 4 is a Titan 3 with a tube final. Of course, that's why you check it in the old Tube Radio Network, and a Collins mechanical filter in the front end, which is a good thing on the receive side. The mic wiring, for those wondering, it's an AM and SSB radio. Number 1 is audio, number 2 is shield, number 3 is transmit, and number 4 is shield. And the Quickie comment, go ahead.
Yes, Jay, you still got it on.
Yeah, it's right here.
Yes, Jay, this is Chris. I just had to keep and say, it is good to hear your voice, guy.
Oh, good to hear yours, too. Thank you. I appreciate it. Past few years, it's been up and down roller coaster on losing all kinds of family members and life in general, and I just kind of shut down, and when I shut down, I just put all this aside, and thanks. Hello? Audio. Do I got any audio?
Yes, you do, and I am just glad to hear you. That's all I want to do is let you know. We have missed you. I have missed you. I've considered you a very dear friend of mine for many years, and I've missed you for a long time.
Well, thank you, brother. I appreciate it. My modulation light went dead, and I'm like, okay, is this thing still on? But I appreciate it. I miss y'all, too, everybody, the whole thing. What is it, 38 years now, and now we're worldwide thanks to this man, Dennis, here. Yeah, Dennis, you just do not know how much we appreciate it.
All right, yeah. Thank you, Gary. I got to take medication right now.
All right, Chris, take care, brother. You know we love you. Much love, man. Definitely, we don't talk a lot, but you're here.
All right, back to the control room. Thank you, KW, for the radio. And yeah, I'm ready. I am ready to go through whatever Jerry and Dennis can throw at us, because that's the way we started. We had a couple of stations that would just go back and forth to see who could check in the most radios, and that is why the Tube Radio list not only has a front page, but a continuation on the back page in case we need it. So if we can do that a couple more times before we get off the air forever here, that would be a good thing. Okay, let me do counting and mounting. Jingle singers have spoken. We have 84 shortwave listeners. We've added a radio, and a good choice, I will say, because it continues what I was about to say. We had an 8-way tie And now we have a 9-way tie. That means there were no duplicate manufacturers, which I always like, because that means we get a good selection of radios, maybe something that we haven't heard before, and maybe something that as a listener you either had or would like to have, or just brings back some good memories. Starting off, don't time out my radio here. Starting off with the CB3A from Hallicrafters, the early 60s, their flagship price point radio. Sold a lot of those. The CB3A Hallicrafters is about $160. Thanks, Cliff. Radio number 2, Sean on Metrotech. Did have different radios. They weren't the biggest company, and they may have been melded. I should do some research on either coming out of another company or they turned into, sold out and turned into somebody else. But the Metrotech Mustang, neat-looking radio, sounding good. They were around. I'll have to find out more about the company. If it was another one like General Radio Telephone, where they're kind of working out the kitchen table in Burbank, or if it's a West Coast radio or an East Coast radio, possibly. Thank you, Sean, for that. And even if you're a 1.5 plus, the audio wasn't doing too bad. General Radio Telephone, Super MC11A, it is a staple here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Thank you, Chris, for that. Radio number 4, the Robin T112. Wait a minute, I misspoke. Did we have 2 Robins? There should have been. I think I misspoke, because you know what? Mike actually checked in. And I didn't write it. You know why I didn't write it down? Because he fooled me. So I take it back. Whoever said the radio went to the birds is correct. We had 10 radios tonight, and the Robin T123B and the T123 back-to-back from SWL47 did the trick. It's good. My brain is only semi-functional, and it's coming back. So that's Radio 4, Radio 5, Radio 6 now is the T-Berry Model T. 40-channel version. Thank you, Dennis, for that. Radio 7 from Joe, the E.F. Johnson Messenger TWO. Radio number 8 from Harvey, the Browning Golden Beagle. That's the R68 T68, the model after the Eagle, before the Mark II. After that, Joe on the World Radio Lab Hustler. And you just heard moments ago another very rare radio, the Tram Titan 4. They took out the tubes, I guess, in the 3, and it was like, who complained? Somebody said, what are you doing? Right? And so, okay, we'll put the final tube back in at least. So a hybrid radio, and if it glows in the dark somewhere, we'll get it checked in here. The Tram Titan, that's the transmitter. That's the part you hear anyway. The Tram Titan for AM, sideband, and a lot of other good stuff. Your Old Tube Radio Network, thanks you. The shortwave listener, thanks you, the tube operator, and our digital listeners, whether they're oldtuberadio.net, they're watching on the YouTube side, where I hope they will get inspired maybe to do something like this. And a good shout out to those who are, because we are in the top of Cycle 25. Get in now. Try and get your amateur radio license right now if that's something you are looking to doing, because you will have a lot of fun. And when Channel 11 or your 40-channel CB is a little bit hard to make a contact, you will be able to go elsewhere and not have a problem with your newly minted FCC license for various frequencies. Good night, everybody. My name is Dennis. I will be back next week, I think. I don't know. I haven't checked my September calendar, but I'm planning to be right here in the air chair with the seersucker suit and the crew and you. Catch you later on the Old Tube Radio Network.
Thank you, Dennis.
Everybody, and enjoy your Labor Day weekend.
Hey, before you leave, man, one more thing.
Over.
Hey, I've been kind of thinking about this out for a while. Do you think maybe once a month, add an extra half hour and do a vintage mobile base, electronic, because there's a few out here.
You mean for checking in possibly non-tube radios or from different locations?
No, yeah, non-tube radio, just a vintage, was it Joe had the 40 or the Road Talker? I've got one, stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. There are a lot of vintage I've got a couple here. The 23-channel radio is my first realistic Navajo from 1970, and Pierce Simpson had a whole row of the radios with the buttons and the clocks and everything like that, so that'd be cool.
Yeah. I just wanted to let you know, again, it's another thing that I've been meaning to tell or ask you about, and it's already 10:30, so you need to kick it around, tell me what you think. I got a couple more ideas I'll hit you with later.
Okay. There's something we do at the radio station, and this would have been one of them, I think, where we have a fifth something of the month, and this may have been the fifth Saturday of the month, and so we have special programming because it's like a leap year. It only happens 4 times a year or something like that, where you have a fifth Saturday. So maybe we should look for that. Possibly that way everybody would know. You can kind of plan for it. Like on the fifth Saturday of the month, and it's typically going to be either on like a 29th or 30th or 31st, that we will have an extended version. So make sure you bring the classic radios along for the final portion.
Yeah, perfect, man. That way we do 3 hours. You do the check-in, then you do the radios.
Yeah, like I say, we could, for those that want to hang out, we could have it at the end, but you would know that it was coming up on a fifth Saturday, and this, I think this would be one of them. So, okay, I am certainly open for that. We'll just keep the green room open a little longer, and it'll be good.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, very good. And somebody was talking about the Squamish SDR. I checked it earlier. I will just double check it again. But I am a little bit sad because it is missing from the queue, and the other places that would be close by are not close by enough. I'll guarantee we will not hear the stations over the terrain on that. But I'll keep an ear out because that was sort of a staple. And these are independently run, so maybe they're doing some maintenance. And unfortunately, I don't recall the call sign for that. So hopefully we'll get the Squamish link back up. But we're glad you can actually join us here live on the radio as well. All right, 73, everybody, or 71 plus 2 if you like subtraction, and 74 minus 1. And who knows if you like anything else, you'll have to do... you'll have to bring out the slide rule and figure it out that way. Good night, everybody, from the Old Tube Radio Network. Hello, the radio.
Good night, Dennis.
What do they say? Over. I think that's what they say.
Yep.
Okay, what happened? I lost my control page here.
Are you out of control?
It seems like it. My main control page is no longer showing up. I'll have to... That's where I bring the radios. It is a lot like the Rolodex. How can these things happen?
You should have an old Rolodex.
No, that's a problem. I think it is an old Rolodex.
Okay, I gotta go. I gotta get up early. Hopefully we'll catch you next week.
All right. Well, I am planning to be here, so we'll see what happens. Great. You find the control page. There it is. All right. What's that radio? Let me feature the... I'll feature the Metrotech. And I'll feature the Mustang. And there it is. All right, that'll be on the main page next. No, Fox, when I think it was, I accidentally closed that window. I had to fish it out a bit. All right, who is it? There's Mark. Thanks. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Indeed. Catch you all next week. Or maybe if I can actually get some time to get on the HF radio, I've cut a couple of you that way, so that will be fun as well. Adios. Catch you later.